Hello everyone, the CD Spin here, back with a new album review, and today I'm finally reviewing the new album, the latest album by rapper Denzel Curry. This album is called Melt My Eyez, See Your Future. This is his fourth solo album after his last being Zoo, and Denzel Curry is in a huge, and I mean huge, impressive career streak. Every one of his records so far, besides that little weird EP at the start, have just been top notch. His full-length debut, Imperial, was a great sign of what was to come, and Taboo is my personal favorite, and most ambitious album in my opinion thus far. And there's also Zoo, which might be his most consistent, just a great record overall. And besides that, there's just one more record, being the duo with Madlib, Unlocked, which adds to Denzel's already impressive discography. So with that in mind, I'm just gonna get straight into review of the new Denzel Curry album, Melt My Eyez, See Your Future. Melt Session number 1 is a really great album opener. It takes a nice melodic approach that is a great sign of what is to come for the rest of the record. The insane, perfectly produced, spacey drum beat in tandem with, once again, more space in the production and the track just works beautifully. Denzel's rapping and flow are just as good as it's always been, if not better. Even as it goes on, it goes just as hard as it went since the start. The nice piano is still in the background, making this a super unique track and album opener. And next is the single Walkin, and it is absolute fire. I mean, pretty much like this whole record. It's, again, a change from Denzel Curry's regular sound, but this track is one of the best singles of the year, with this vocal melody all throughout, adding such a nice foundation and a beautifully done beat switch in the middle, with more brilliant production to really make the song stick. I mean, it's just a really well-produced song in general, with just some top-tier lyricism to make the track even more worthwhile. And then worst comes to worst has this super clunky old-school beat that works so well, and his flow, his pace, it all matches perfectly. And it's just a super well-made and meticulously made track in general, with these references to God and religion and stuff like that, like in the last track that we saw, with the line, I look for God on the daily, praying that the Reaper don't take me in a land controlled by Hades, just among many brilliant lines. And yeah, another one of my favorite songs. John Wayne is a kind of low-key song, and it's almost grimy, but it's still smooth and kind of ethereal. This isn't like one of my favorite tracks musically, but lyrically it's super cool to listen to. Like, he's comparing himself to John Wayne Gacy when he walks around in the hood, and you can hear even gunshots throughout this song, which is just super cool to hear. I don't even know how to say how badass that is. This is just a super cool, dusty, and blurry track that works super well. The last is another great track, and you really start to understand what Denzel's talking about, with him saying throughout the track, any day could be your last day, as he discusses plenty of, like, racial issues, also repeating the USA is a cold place, and after not just the last few years, but the entire history, pretty much, of the US, he's really not wrong at all. On a musical level, though, once again, I'm not, like, blown away, but it still has plenty of lot to love. And then Mental is a smooth, interesting track, for the main part of it, with a laid-back approach, but the best part is the little poem part at the end, which I think is really cool and an interesting idea, that I wish was fleshed out a little bit more. But then Troubles is a great track, truly. Everything about it is super well executed, and once again, like always, lyrically, this song pops. And the feature, hell yes, the feature. I always liked T-Pain as a vocalist, but he goes super hard here. This track is just like cocaine for me. Seriously, it's like a lot on this record, smooth, nice, pleasing, but I don't know, it just stands out. And then Ain't No Way is like the opposite of the last track. It has a super nice bassy beat, and it's sonically loaded as hell, which works really well. All the features here are pretty good, and speaking of the beat before, it has a beat switch, which, my god, is great. I just go crazy for beat switches, alright? I'm sorry, I said it. And I wish I had more to say about this track, but it's one of the most confident songs on this record. And yeah, I love it. My only holdout is the song can be a little bit, I don't know, generic, but otherwise it's a fantastic track. Xwing is, and I'm sorry for repeating my words, but it's great. He just doesn't really stop at all on this record. I can almost hear what I think are strings in the background of this track, and this song is just, yeah, it's really cool. But then Angelz is an absolutely top tier track. He's super, not independent with his lyrics, but just lonely with his lyrics. He's by himself on the themes presented here. And that's pretty much like it is on this entire record. And it has one of my favorite instrumentals on this whole record. This amazing bass with that piano and gluey drum beat. I mean, it's perfect. And once again, the lyrics are super insightful and clever and lonely and interesting. I mean, it's another great track. And then The Smell of Death is a quick one, but it's an almost comic book sounding track. Like, it reminds me a bit of Doom for some reason, but I do love it. I love the odd things that he did to this track, like his vocals. It just adds to the aesthetic. I also love how wildly it's produced, going back and forth on my headphones as it leads into the next track, Sanjuro. And Sanjuro is another dark depiction of our surroundings. And it's not one of my favorite tracks personally. In fact, it's probably my least favorite. I think the feature leaves much to be desired. And I'm not a huge fan of this sound in general. But even then, it's still a decent track with more than enough to like. However, Zatoichi is an absolutely energizing track that goes hard as hell, with a great feature by one of the best rappers right now. That being Slow Tie, of course. At one all-out moment between, like, 109 and 132, and 219 and 242, are just perfect. Yeah, everything about this track is just, a perfect final breath before the last track. This sounds like it would be, like, in a damn superhero movie. Just such a cool track. The Eyez, however, is a goddamn great closer to this album. Truly one of my favorite tracks. Those playful record skips, the almost upbeat vocals, piano bouncy beat, and the amazing production to boot are all just amazing. He also lyrically concludes everything. It truly sounds like the perfect conclusion to, like, a perfect movie. And without surprise, this is my most listened to track off the album. So, make no mistake, though Denzel Curry goes in a different direction, this is one of the best mixtures of amazing production, amazing lyricism, amazing rapping ability you will come across this year, for sure. I'm feeling a light 9, honestly. That's about it, guys.